All right, it looks like people are continuing to arrive, but we also want to be mindful and respectful of your time today, and thank you for joining us. So we will go ahead and get started, and as people continue to add in, we'll be glad to see them. And again, if you're just joining us, please go ahead and type in the chat your name and where you're from. I don't believe we have chat in Zoom today, so your chat will be in the page where you have come to our session. There's a nice chat box there. So I would invite you. Oh, I see we've got people from Texas and Maryland and South Carolina. This is great. This is great. Thank you all so much for being with us today. I'm going to hide my camera now in the interest of keeping my bandwidth moving, and we will get started. Now, my name is Sarah Wilkins, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Rick Selnell. I'm the Director of Adult Education and Workforce Training at KET, and Rick is our Adult Education Specialist. Our session today is titled No Access, No Problem, Resources for the Corrections Classroom. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with KET, KET stands for Kentucky Educational Television. We're located in Lexington, Kentucky, in the heart of horse country, and KET is a PBS affiliate station. So we have a full studio and production crew on site, and we also have a robust education department that creates and provides learning and curriculum materials from students from pre-K through adult learners. So that's a little about us. We always like to get to know our audience a little bit when we are presenting, and it can be a little challenging when we're all in separate places as we are now, but we would like to learn a little bit about you. So if you would, we would like you to answer this question using your phone. Why do you teach in corrections? Now, if you're like me, your phone probably isn't very far away, so you could visit Menti, MENTI.com in your browser and enter this code 316825 and type in the answer to our question here. Again, you're going to Menti, MENTI.com and entering the code 316825. When you do that, your responses should start appearing on this slide, and it may take just a moment, so we're glad to take a pause here to allow you to do that. Hope you're hearing us okay. This also gives us a check that you are able to hear us. While you're doing that, I'm going to check chat, see who else has joined us. Oh, you're doing it. Oh, this is great. You know, this does two things. One is we love to connect with you and learn more about you. It also lets us know that you're hearing us all right. Sometimes, as you know, if you've done presentations like this, you wonder if people are able to hear you. So I'm really grateful on two fronts for your responses. And I always love to watch how the page changes with all of the many responses. So what you're seeing is as your responses are coming in, the page is continually changing. Now you see, I see right now, Second Chances is our largest font. That means, as you probably have guessed, this is one of the more frequent answers. They're along, now looks like equity and potential. But I see lots of other good responses here too, like I enjoy the students, to make a difference, rewarding, challenging, brighter futures. Thank you all so much for responding to this. This is very interesting, and like I said, it helps us to get to know you a little better. And it looks like we've still got some responses coming in. Difference maker, second chance, support, love people. That's sweet. Wanted to give back. Yeah. So this is the heart of teachers I see in these responses. So thank you very much for responding to that and participating in our poll. We have a video that we would like to show you next. The video is Why Correctional Education Matters. Now, based on those responses and the very fact that you work in corrections education, we know we don't have to convince you, but we did want to share with you this very informative and comprehensive video from the RAND Corporation, based on a study that the RAND Corporation did in 2015. It's about a 4.5-minute video, so we invite you to just relax and watch with us.
We are incarcerating a lot of people, disproportionately men of color.
Our incarceration rate is 4 times higher than China's.
Having very long sentences for drug-related offenses.
And we have a huge revolving door issue around recidivism.
And if we don't provide some help to them, they unfortunately are going to turn around and get back into the prison system.
Historically, there was a real shift away from rehabilitation as an appropriate goal of corrections and a move towards, really towards punishment.
The most prominent change in terms of federal funding was removal of eligibility for Pell Grants for incarcerated individuals.
More and more restrictions on educational support across the board.
People in corrections were saying this is crazy because now we're warehousing, we're spending all this money, we're not getting anything back.
RAND was asked by the Department of Justice to analyze both the costs of effective correctional education programs as well as the payoffs.
This was 30 years of research that we were looking at.
We identified 58 unique studies on the relationship between correctional education and a range of different outcomes. If you look in the general population of inmates, recidivism rates tend to hover around 43%.
For individuals who participate in any type of correctional education program, their risk of being reincarcerated drops by 13 percentage points. For those who participate in college programs, they're half as likely to be reincarcerated upon release.
The RAND study translated the recidivism benefit into a cost-benefit analysis.
Every dollar invested in correctional education saves the taxpayer $5 in terms of recidivism costs.
This kind of magnitude of potential impact and this kind of ratio of a 1-to-4 or a 1-to-5, that was surprising.
And that payoff was related strictly to the recidivism reduction and the cost of confinement.
If we took into account the indirect cost, for example, to society, to the justice system, to victims, that cost savings would be substantially larger.
What's the value of all this? Why should you do it?
To keep me from coming back.
Without correctional education, it would have been like merging into traffic on the highway with a tricycle, trying to keep up with society's demands.
We can talk about providing education, not in terms of being nice to individuals who've committed crimes or coddling criminals. We can talk about it in terms of a sound investment of public resources.
Here in California, a bill was passed that specifically cited RAND's work.
We really used the material from the RAND study to help craft the bill, to make the case for the bill.
We've actually incorporated the key findings from the RAND study in our new Correctional Peace Officer training program.
I think it's really had a very significant impact on the field.
Lois and her team helped to spur a national dialogue.
There's an increasingly bipartisan consensus that we can't incarcerate our way out of crime.
We're on the cutting edge of some criminal justice reforms that I think are healthy and are going to be helpful for the country.
Congress is now reconsidering the ineligibility of prisoners for Pell Grants.
90% of incarcerated people will return to their communities.
And the more able they are to work, to get a job, the better off everybody is going to be.
It reduces the enormous costs of crime, both on the victims of crime and on society as a whole.
I think it's going to change our entire prison system.
A high impact solution that is relatively reasonable to implement.
To change the culture of our prisons from a culture of punishment to a culture of rehabilitation.
A few key points from the video that we just want to reiterate are inmates who participate in any kind of educational program behind bars are up to 43% less likely to return to prison. And as you know, there is a real economic benefit as well. When you simply look at direct costs, we find that for every dollar invested in a prison education program, it will ultimately save taxpayers between $4 and $5 in reincarceration costs. So we have quite the case for education in correction and its impact on the individuals and on our society. We know we're here to talk about the use of technology in corrections, and we know that technology is currently being used in some form or fashion in correctional facilities, including communication with family and friends, video attendance at court hearings or other appointments, clinical health care, referred to as telemedicine or telehealth, restricted online banking and money transfers, and online legal research such as LexisNexis and entertainment. But we also know that there can be significant challenges and hesitation when incorporating technology into a corrections classroom. So for our purposes today, we've created some broad definitions of high-tech, low-tech, and no-tech just to help us sort of categorize where you are in technology access in your facility. Now, high-tech we've defined as you or your students can access some internet sites, your facility has a computer lab, or you can share content with the whole class using a projection system or a smartboard. So based on that definition, how many of you would say that you are in a high-tech facility? And I think you can respond by raising your hand. My screen is a little bit different than yours, but I think you may have a little hand symbol in the bottom center of your screen. And if you would, okay, I see, oh good, it's working. Yay, so I see some adding in, and I also see some responses in the chat on our session page. So I'm seeing some people in a high-tech facility, 2, and maybe 3 if we count our responses on the chat. Okay, so just giving you a minute to check in for that. Okay. Low-tech we've defined as you can bring your laptop into the classroom in order to share content with your audience, or you can bring a flash drive with content files into the facility and load that content onto a computer. Now, how many of you would say you're in a low-tech facility? And I'm just watching for hands. Oh, many more. Yeah, I see the hands really increasing here. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Again, thank you all so much for your responses. And I'm also peeking out at chat here. We have one respondent who can access websites. Oh, Google Classroom and Smartboard. That's wonderful. Okay. Low tech. Oh, I appreciate your response as well, Patrick, about reaching the lowest level of ABE students who have low tech access. I believe that you'll find some good information in this presentation as well. And then I also see a comment of no tech in most areas, depending. Okay, good, no tech. Okay, So you all have looked at the no tech and see that we've defined this as you can bring nothing into the facility and you can only share content with your students using paper. So for those of you saying no tech, I'm going to assume that that is your situation. And I'm looking, someone has Rachel computers. Yeah, I've heard of those. Okay. Low tech. Okay. Gosh, thank you all so much for responding. It just helps if we can make this as much of a conversation and dialogue as possible. So thank you very much. So we're here today, as we mentioned in our description, to talk about pbslearningmedia.org. Have any of you worked with PBS Learning Media or are somewhat familiar with it? And again, I guess we'll do a hand raise here. I'm seeing some. Okay, good. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing lots of responses pop in. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. All right, for those of you who are not familiar at all, or even for those of you who are using it, we hope you'll get some good information out of this today. And I would invite you, I know that you have your own devices, and when I do this presentation in person, I always tell people I'm not at all offended if you want to go visit pbslearningmedia.org while we continue the presentation. Maybe you want to do some exploring on your own and even have some questions for us. So I'm not offended if you want to hop out. The website is here. Just don't leave us. You can keep us on in the background and we'll continue to discuss learning media and ways to incorporate its materials into the corrections classroom. So just a little bit of introduction. PBS Learning Media is an online repository of over 100,000 classroom resources. What you're seeing right now is a screenshot of the homepage of Learning Media. We'll go visit it live in just a moment. We just wanted you to see what a start page looks like. Yours may look a little different because Learning Media will be affiliated with your local PBS station. So that's why you see there almost in the middle at the top of our screenshot, KET. PBS Learning Media has some great features that you can imagine. One of the wonderful things is the contributors. These are some of the contributors to the materials in Learning Media. Masterpiece, Nova, TED, Nature, PBS NewsHour, and KET is the largest contributor of adult education materials. The great thing about Learning Media is that all of the materials are vetted as educational resources. So it's not like if you're, looking for something for your classroom, you're, maybe going to Google or looking for a video on YouTube and hoping it's appropriate and educational and high quality. There is a procedure for materials to be admitted into Learning Media, so you can trust that all of them are educational and high quality. And let me mention the most important thing, free. All of the resources in Learning Media are free, and that's a teacher's favorite word, I think. So with over 100,000 resources, you can imagine you have to have a way to find what you're looking for. So you can search or browse by standard, grade level, collection, resource type, or subject, and we'll show you how to do that in just a moment. You can stream and download content, which is so important giving you the varying degrees of access that we have in our audience today. If you're high tech, then you can stream the content, many of the videos, right there from your device in the classroom. But if you're low or no tech, you may need to use the option of downloading it onto a laptop or a flash drive, or even downloading printable PDFs that you can take into your classroom and use as worksheets. Most of the resources are going to include support materials that have items like discussion questions or lesson plan or suggestions for extending the activities, as well as a link to full-length programs. You also can create and organize folders with content that you can share with your class or colleagues. And mostly the sharing in this case would be in the instance of, say, perhaps Google Classroom, which we understand is not very widely utilized yet in corrections. To create and share folders, you simply need to create an account, which of course is free and takes about 30 seconds. So here's our live screen right now, PBS Learning Media. Rick has taken us to that, and I'm going to pause just for a moment and peek in the chat just to see, okay, just to see if we've got any comments here. Okay, I see somebody's not aware of this, so yay, I hope you'll find this helpful. Liliana, can this be translated in Spanish? There are ways, Liliana, to search for resources according to language, and we can show you how to do that here in just a moment when we do a search. So remember the slide where we mentioned you can search by subject. Here are many, many subjects broken down into even into categories that you can search. You can also search by grade level. And let me say that as adult instructors, we might be more inclined to go to the higher grade level, 10, 12, 13 plus. But I can tell you from having spent many, many hours in learning media that many resources may say, you know, 4th grade or a lower grade level, but as long as they don't look too cartoony or too juvenile, many, many times they are entirely appropriate for your adult learners. You can also search by standards, or you can simply type a term into the search bar. You see today that Rick is typing in verbs for us, and without any filters at all, we've returned nearly 300 results. So I'm seeing some videos here at the top. Here's a document that looks like for a lower grade level. Lots and lots of videos. Here's a supplemental Spanish interactive. Here's some on verb tenses. So you can see that we've pulled in a wide range of resources just by typing in the big term verbs. Now, if we want to narrow that down, we can do so at the very top by selecting a grade level. Rick, looks like Rick is choosing 13 plus, and that gets us down to 12 search results. If he adds 8th, 9th, 10th grade, other grade levels, then you can see that that changes the number of our search results. So, but still much less than 291. You can also search by subject. Now in this case, verbs are going to be in language arts. So you can see that we have options below that. And you can also search by resource type. So maybe you want a video, or you want a lesson plan, or you want a document. You know, you can see here the many options that are available. Again, and we're still just searching in verbs. If we scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see the options to search by language, accessibility, and some other additional features. So here, oh, I just saw the Spanish pop up for just a moment there. Here we go. So you can see that these are lessons that have shown up when we have searched verb and then selected Spanish as a filter. Now, it was interesting in the video that we just watched about the emphasis on workplace skills and workplace being prepared for the workplace. So there are lots of really nice resources in here that speak to the use of academic material in a real life setting. You know, students have often asked, why do I need to know this in real life? When would I ever use this? Well, you'll find lots of resources in this real life collection. And we've chosen just one today for you to watch just a minute of this video on restaurant management and the use of math. We selected this one because we thought many of your learners either have worked in the food industry or may work in the food industry in the future. So we wanted you to just spend a minute seeing what this resource looks like.
I'm Tad Peelan, and I'm an owner of Joe's Real Barbecue here in Gilbert, Arizona. We also have another concept called Joe's Farm Grill, also in Gilbert. Math is important to almost everything that we do, and in fact, it's very surprising, and I probably did not excel in most of my mathematics classes throughout either my high school years, undergraduate years, or graduate years, and yet I find myself using math in the workplace literally every day. We have to think about the number of customers that are going to come join us at each of the restaurants. We need to think about portions. We need to think about ordering. And so while we have incredible systems, and we have point of sale systems that capture a great deal of data, and we use some very intricate spreadsheets, and we use accounting software, many times it's just a matter of picking up a calculator and knocking out some calculations to get the best answer to our problem.
You can see that he does a nice setup there. And as the video continues, this is a 5-minute, 26-second video. He does then talk about the math that he uses to calculate portion sizes and how they order food for the restaurant. Now you'll notice right underneath the video, there is a link to download. So this is a resource that could be used in a low-tech environment if you are able to download a video onto a laptop or onto a device such as a flash drive and take into the classroom. And certainly if you're in high tech, you can simply play this video. But what if you're in low tech? There's still some options. Oh, I did want to point out the classroom activity just a moment before we go to low tech. So say you want to do this video. This one actually has a great activity with it that suggests stopping points in the video for discussion. So you'll see, if you can see on your screen, it says at 154, make the problem more concrete. Suggest a type of product like barbecue sauce. Why do they need deliveries 3 times a week? And there are suggestions for stopping again at 2:15, at 3, and so on, to help foster the discussion with your students. So this is a great resource for you as a teacher. But as I was saying, what if you are low tech and you're like, I can't play this video, I can't do, well, you might be able to use this handout that accompanies the video as part of a standalone math activity in your class. In this one, it's a worksheet that says, your restaurant is catering a picnic for 20 people. Your customer wants grilled cheese sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches, and vanilla ice cream. This must be for a first grader's party. And the students, the worksheet asks, decide how many of each item you will provide for the picnic and write the numbers in the chart. You need 20 sandwiches in all. And then there are math problems to be worked along on the worksheet. So even if you weren't able to share the video and do the learning activity, this is a really nice handout that you could print out and simply set up the scenario for your learners in the classroom to maybe help with fractions and multiplying. And it brings a little bit of that real world context to the, something that they may be having trouble making that connection. And I'm going to look at chat. Chat is in a different on a different page, as you know. So I'll check that right now just to make sure we're answering your questions. Thank you, Marlo. Looks like you are our most recent comment, so thank you very much. That also, as I said, it helps me know that you all are still with us and are still able to hear us. Now, as we were saying, with all of these resources in here, remember there is a way for you to save them, because let's say 2 weeks down the road from now, you're like, oh, I found that great lesson about the restaurant. Gosh, what was that called? Well, you can actually save that as a favorite in your account simply by clicking on this little heart right next to the resource. And then if we go, you see we're logged into my account right now. Now, if you're not seeing this, or if you're looking at learning media on your own and you're trying to favorite something, remember you do have to create that account before you'll be able to favorite and save. But if we go to my favorites, you will now see that the Real Life Math Restaurant Manager has been added to my favorites collection. And it's as simple as that. Now, I also have created other favorites. One of the next one I'd like to share with you, KET Adult Education Classroom Resources, the Work Ready collection. And let me tell you too that all of the links that we're showing you today are shared with you on the main page for our session, you know, over where you're doing chat. If you click on files, we've uploaded a page with all of these resources linked for you, and we will go over that with you at the end so you sort of know what you're looking for and how to navigate it. Now it looks like it's trying to load a video here. I just wanted you to see the page and see the resources that we have added that speak to the workplace, like soft skills, transportation, IT, and construction. Each of these, except for the soft skills, features contextualized math and language arts lessons, videos. They are contextualized to these workplace sectors that you see here on the left. You'll remember that at the beginning I was explaining how KET is a TV station, and our production crew traveled the nation over the last 2 years and interviewed people who worked in these career sectors and more, and asked them about how they used math or language arts to establish that relevancy for our learners. The soft skills are non-contextualized and cover great things like, Rick, are you able to, no, it's not even going to let you click on soft skills, is it? I know the videos won't load, but yeah, we have a little bit of a lag here, even with our cameras turned off. But it talks about such things like managing, oh, here we go, managing conflict in the workplace, respecting your team members, punctuality. Punctuality means if you are to be at your workstation at 8:30, that doesn't mean pulling in the parking lot at 8:30. Interview skills. You know, many helpful workplace resources. And again, this is all provided for you in a link on our session page, and we'll point you to that when we finish. So that was another collection in my favorites. And then, as you'll notice, with the workplace, it's important to be able to gather those into some sort of organized folder. So you'll see my folders on the left here. So from all of these favorites, and I have many, I've then collected and put them into folders according to workplace sector. So you'll see the first one here is my construction folder. If we open that, you'll see all of the resources that I've pulled together that speak to construction. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. You could go into learning media today and find something that I have yet to discover. But you'll see the first one there is slope and house construction. That's a great video and worksheet on rise over run and the Pythagorean theorem. And there are others here, the real life math as a woodworker, or re-roofing your uncle's house is a great one on area of a roof, or even the one below it, pipe fitter and the Pythagorean theorem. All of these help to make that connection for the learners between what they're learning in the classroom and the jobs that they may hold in the future. If we look at some of the other folders, you'll see that I have put together a corrections folder. This has some activities and resources that can be used at various levels of connectivity, like the angle on pool. That's a lesson on triangles. and the angle at which you hit that cue ball to get the other balls in the pockets. So it's a great lesson on triangles. Concussion in youth athletes is a great science lesson. And then we also discovered many resources on addiction. So we have put this into this folder as well in case you might find that helpful. You'll see the other folders: healthcare, IT tech, manufacturing, restaurant, and transportation logistics, all high demand career sectors, and all resources that we have collected and put in folders, again, that you will be able to access. And we'll be pointing that out to you when we finish up today. Now, I think, yes, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you so much, Rick. In addition to resources for your learners, there are also resources for you as instructors in adult education. You'll find many, many professional development resources, and we wanted to share again a moment of a video with you today, just a minute or two. This was filmed at the KET studios back in Kentucky, and this is a professional development session on building deeper understanding of decimal numbers. So let's take a look.
We're going to talk a little bit about computations with decimals. Even though we're not going to deal with negative numbers, we are going to work with functions that involve decimal numbers. As you probably know, those of you who teach math, our students have difficulty doing operations with decimals. And even before they try and do any operations with decimals, they sometimes have difficulty even comparing two decimals and telling you which is the larger number. Can anyone have an idea about what the common student response can be when asked to compare these numbers? What will they often say?
The second is 4.
Why would they say that?
Because 8's larger than 4.
Yeah, so they're confusing whole number thinking, then they're bringing it into decimals, right? So that is an issue. And it also, sometimes we ask them to think about these numbers. They might also think these are not the same size. They might think one is larger. Which is the one they'll think will be larger? And I think we do a disservice to students when we just tell them, hey, you could just add a 0 on there and it doesn't change it at all. It's the same number. Just telling them that, they will nod their head and they will believe you because you're the teacher. But believing you is not the same as understanding why it is.
That's just a portion of a professional development video. And again, if you look along the right side, you'll see many other videos that you may find helpful. I think the one resisting the temptation to be too helpful, that is so tempting for those of us as teachers. We're nice and we want them to get it. And sometimes we maybe cross that line to be a little bit too helpful. So you will see lots of other related PD resources. Now, I was looking at chat just a moment while we were watching the video, and I see Sarah says, I'm trying to log in and it keeps redirecting me to MPT PBS Learning Media. That might, I think that's probably, oh, thank you, Katie. Yeah, Sarah, I think that's probably okay, because that's probably an acronym for your local PBS learning station.
Yes, Sarah, those are our friends in Nashville, I think.
Oh, great. Thanks, Rick. So, yeah, I think you should be fine, even though your page may not look exactly like mine. I think you should be okay to get to learning media, though. But we're watching chat, so let me know, okay? And we'll be hanging around after this is over as well. So just let us know. All right. So PBS Learning Media, in case you're not already convinced, we have learned that when PBS Learning Media content is used in the classroom, students outperform national assessment norms by 10 percentage points. So I'm going to hand it over to Rick right now to go over some of the resources on our page. let's see, Sarah, you're able to find just a different URL. I see. Okay, thank you. Good, good. So sounds like you're there, but if not, just let us know. So we're going to, as I said, we'll spend a moment at kind of a couple of things I'd like us to focus on is one, whenever we do this presentation in person, I'd like to give people time to visit Learning Media, and it looks like you all are, and I'm thrilled by that. An opportunity to create an account and to find lessons and save based on your level of access to technology, high tech, low tech, or no tech. We know we all learn wonderful things in conferences, and then you move on to the next session, and of course, you can only hold so much in your mind on any given day. So I want to give you time to explore Learning Media, find lessons, create an account, and then also Rick is going to take us back to our main session page and show you where the links are to all of the resources that we discussed today.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. So I just wanted to let you all know that we put a couple of files here, and you can find this page just the same as you found the live meeting page, and you just click over to the next tab with files. There's a couple we wanted to highlight. Sarah mentioned several of our collections today. There's adult education collections, adult ed PD collections, but this one in particular, we put a link to the adult education corrections resources as they've been curated in there, but also this adult education distance learning resources. So it's a page where we've accumulated a lot of information, including a lot of Sarah's folders. In fact, all of them we have uploaded links to her folders. So if you think you have students who might be interested in construction or restaurant or IT in your classes and want to find some immediate PBS Learning Media resources for them, you can click here to get into any of those folders that Sarah has already curated for you. Up at the top, these are some of those workplace essential skills videos Sarah mentioned, where we're talking about making contextualized education for students or different soft skills, things that they can use in that regard. But we also wanted to point out, and so we put them on this page, the various online study systems produced by KET. So in large part, that means Fast Forward, which is our material for high school equivalency exam preparedness. So the GED, the HiSET, the TASC, if your students are studying for any of those. Now, just in the interest of full disclosure, so KET is a publisher. So these materials do require a subscription, but you can look at demonstrations of them at these links here. You can watch demo videos and see them. And as you've noticed, some of the videos, for instance, that are in Workplace Essential Skills, which is our contextualized workforce readiness material, that material can be found in PBS Learning Media as well. But to get them as a fully vetted online study system, that would be information you could find here. Other things than that, we did want to let you know that if you or your students might be interested in Workplace Essential Skills and you just wanted to see more of what that is all about, we're actually running free access trial programs in it right now. So in a second, I'll go back to our PowerPoint and put up Sarah and I's email addresses, or you can contact us at also just adulted@ket.org, and that'll go to the whole team. If you have any interest or your students in this sort of contextualized workplace anchored material, if you think that would help you raise engagement levels in your classroom, we'd love to see your thoughts on that material. Let's see. So we've got those files. Other than that, I think that might be it. Sarah, what else?
Sure. So this is how to contact us if you have follow-up questions or comments. And the whole time Rick was giving you that information, I was watching chat. And I wanted to ask you all, because Rick did mention workplace resources, is that an area where you have a need for this workplace? Oh, Marlo, thank you. Yes. Marlo is currently using Workplace Essential Skills. Hey, Rick, do you think we could just go to the page there, the main dashboard for Workplace and Fast Forward? As Rick was saying, this is, in full disclosure, this is a product. Everything that you have seen, all of the learning media resources are free, but we do have the Workplace Essential Skills, which offers math and language arts lessons contextualized to 7 high-demand career sectors, as well as a standalone soft skills course, so it's not contextualized. Now, many of the videos in Workplace Essential Skills are the videos that are included in the academic content in Workplace Essential Skills online, the PrEP system. The big difference is that this has educational content and offers a course management system for teachers to have an online gradebook and reporting. Now, again, this is an online product, so we know that this would be a stretch for some of you. But we did want you to know that the workplace resources are there, and in particular, you'll find some very good ones and some very current and relevant videos in PBS Learning Media, and that is all free. Fast forward, as Rick mentioned, is the high school equivalency prep system, also online, but also has great features like an online gradebook and reports. Again, we realize that this may not fit your particular situation, but we did just want to let you know that we have those, and if you want more information, just email us or certainly follow one of those links on the page that Rick gave you. But we hope that that you are now excited about PBS Learning Media, and that you'll find some useful resources there that you can take back home to your learners. And I'm wondering, for those of you who did a little exploring, I'm wondering if you have anything that you can share. Shaketa, hi! I saw you at a conference about a year ago, and I still remember you said, you can remember my name because Shaketa is a go-getter. And I still remember you. That was such a great memory tool. So welcome. Thank you for being with us today. So I'm wondered though, if some of you, if you've had a little time to visit and explore learning media, if you have found anything that you want to share with the rest of us, anything that just sort of jumped out at you. We've still got a few minutes here, and this is typically the time when we're all together live that we really take an opportunity to share. Usually I like to put people in groups, group the high tech with one another, the low tech and the no tech, and then let everyone get in and share ideas. So we've still got a minute or two left here. So if any of you have found anything that you have found particularly interesting, please go ahead and share with the rest of your colleagues. Rick has hopped back to our slide. Looks like we're on, here we go.
My apologies for any vertigo, just wasn't sure exactly which slide was the best one to rest on.
That's okay. We just want to make sure everybody has all of the information they need. Or if any of you want us to look up something in PBS Learning Media while we're together, sometimes we just kind of play wild card and have people throw out, look for this in a video or in a document, and we see what we can find. So we'll be happy to do that too. Thanks for those great comments, you all. Yeah, the standards are very helpful. I see your comment, Shaketa. Yeah, to be able to search by standard and sort of drill down to exactly what you need, that is so helpful. And again, you can do that in learning media. And I also meant to mention most of the videos, if not all, are also closed caption. Thank you, Marlo. It was good to see you today, and thank you for being in our presentation. We'll hang out here for a little bit, just because we have the time, and answer any questions you have, or again, if you want to just shout one out to us and have us search for a resource, we'll be glad to do that in real time. Let us know if we can answer any more questions for you. Oh, good, Sarah. Thank you. Looks like you got in, so I'm thrilled. Now, you all be sure to take down our email addresses so we can stay in touch. And so if you have any questions, we'll be glad to help you with that too. This is fun for us. Oh, so Gregory created an account. Good for you. Good. Thank you, Victoria. We're excited. We're always excited to offer them. I'm glad you all are excited as well. Oh, I might mention there is a survey link on the bottom left of our page as well. So please take the, please be sure to take the survey. Patrick, which parts are free and how to get the free trial? Oh, good question. So everything we saw in the beginning, the PBS learning media, everything that was in there, you know, the PD resources, the restaurant math, all of that, if you are in PBS learning media, all of that is free. Sure, Greg, we can put up our PowerPoint. I'll tell you, Rick is so good at this, probably by the time I finish my sentence, it'll be up there, or shortly after. I guess we're still in it, so we'll have it up there soon. Patrick, so the ones that have a subscription is the Fast Forward and the Workplace Essential Skills. You'll find them at sort of the bottom of that resource page. And certainly if you can give us your email, we can follow up with you as well and hook you up with some links to get you in there and let you explore and have a trial account. Hope that helps. Please let us know if you have other questions. And again, don't forget to take the survey. We so enjoyed our time with you today. It was great participators. Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Patrick. And it almost felt like we were together. So we'll keep watching chat. I see you all are signing off, but we'll keep watching chat for the full time. And for those of you that are left, thank you again for being in our session today. And we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and maybe we'll run into you in some sessions ourselves.
Agreed. Thanks for attending, everybody. And I have uploaded the slides, so if you refresh your page, they should be able to be seen shortly.
Thanks, Rick. I knew it wouldn't take you a minute to get that up there. Thanks, Tana. Thanks for being with us today. Patrick, I see. Good deal. If you have any other questions or any thoughts, we're still here for the next, 3-4 minutes or so. So we're glad to hang out with you and answer any questions you have, or just continue the conversation. This has been a great session. I'm just thrilled with your participation, and we were just thrilled to have you with us today as well. Katie. Professional learning videos. The professional development would be for you to just help with teaching and teaching techniques. And the Our Planet series, Rick, are you able to pull that up? Is that, Katie, did you find that in Learning Media? We do have a YouTube channel, Albert. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks, Katie. Rick will be checking that now. Albert, I'm going to pull up our YouTube channel real quick and see if I can get the link in there for you. I don't think they'll cut us off too soon. So let me just get that, pull that up for you. Just a moment as my page loads.
Just starting your comeback, Workplace Essentials.
Okay. Okay, here you go, Albert. I'm pasting in the YouTube channel, KET Adult Learning, right now. So I hope you're still there and are able to get that. Okay. Rick, did we find the...
We did Our Planet videos.
Yeah, I was distracted I was going into the YouTube. Did we find that?
So Katie, if you're still here with us, Our Planet, yeah, you can use it as material with students if you're studying science or environmentalism and things like that. So those ones are not exactly the same as the professional development series. It's just, this is just the name of the collection that it's been curated into, is virtual professional learning. But this one, I mean, I think the series would be great to share with students if that was your question. Sorry, I was trying to flip back and forth between the chat and the live presentation to make sure I was answering your question adequately. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's in the virtual professional learning area. Yeah, so that is something that I think would be perfectly appropriate to share with your students if that's what you meant. Yeah, thank you, Katie. And then I'm not sure, at the risk of us getting booted out of here at any time, if we do go AWOL, thank you everyone for stopping by. Please do email Sarah or I, or again, you can email adulted@ket.org. And that'll go to the entire adult education team at KET, so we can help you out with anything you need. But it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. I will go on and end the meeting now so we can end politely as opposed to abruptly, but the chat is still open and will remain open on our session page. We'll be checking that and we can continue our conversation even after this session ends. So again, thank you very, very much for being with us today. It was almost as good as being with you in person, and that's because you participated so well. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of the conference and stay safe. Bye-bye.